Have you ever been in that place where that fear flight response wanted to take over from everything that you were doing? And you just really felt like time was staying still, your heart was racing, you felt the sweat coming on? Well, I used to think that being in control meant I was winning. In my coaching career, I had to control my environment around me. I had to control how the players would move, how they would think, and how they react on the court. But let me tell you something. Deep down, I really was scared to let go. And I was dealing with something that I really didn't know that I was dealing with for a number of years. But it wasn't until an incident happened to me a few years back that really changed, or it turned the way my thought process went. And I really didn't realize it. And what I want to talk to you today about is something that I think a lot of people deal with, but they don't realize that they're dealing with it. And that's anxiety. Anxiety doesn't always look like a panic attack or a breakdown. And that's what most people think. It's an outward appearance that you can visibly see. But a lot of times dealing with anxiety, you cannot even see it. Sometimes it really looks like it's perfectionism. It looks like that need to fix everything around them, afraid to make a mistake, afraid of what people may think about you. And you're always needing a plan, even for your peace. And that was me. I felt like I always needed a plan for everything that I did, for every direction I went into, and every piece and part of my life. Well, guess what? In this episode, I'm going to get a little bit personal with you. I want to share with you moments in my life that has helped me and hurt me. I realized that I couldn't control everything around me. And once I realized that, and once I stopped trying to do that, I started to see breakthroughs. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Greg Stanback. I am now a life coach. I'm a former championship basketball coach. I'm an educator, and I'm that voice behind the results-led life. Before I taught others how to unlock their potential, I'm going to let you know I had to fight through a battle of my own. There was a time that I was dealing with tense anxiety. Some of it I dealt with from grief. Some of it was the weight of always needing to perform and always got to be that guy to hold it all together. A lot of times as men, we're taught that we got to be strong. We got to be there for everybody. And if you're someone that was raised like myself, that you got to take care of your family. My mom did a great job of raising us as a family, as a single mom. But at the age of 14, I had to start working to help support the house. And a lot of times people that go through that, it makes you grow up a lot faster than what you really want. And it also puts you in that mindset of a worker, of a provider, of a protector. And a lot of times that can be very stressful. And going through those things, that's where a lot of tension, a lot of fear, and anxiety can really build up within you. And I know that did that for me. The moment where things probably shifted was there was one time where I was going on a flight. I was going to Boston. At the time I was coaching the Final Four was in Boston. So I was excited about going. And I got on the plane. Just my normal, typical day. You get packed, you get dressed, you're excited to go meet coaches, fellowship, learn, and grow. So I get on the plane, and all of a sudden while I'm on the plane, I felt my heart rate racing. And I started breaking out into a sweat. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? The next thing you know, I got this overwhelming feeling of being locked in, being closed in. I'm like, what's going on? This is not me. And it just kept building. And I'll never forget, the door closed and it got worse. The height got worse. Then all of a sudden I put my hand up and I was like, I got to get off the plane. So they had to push back to the gate. They let me off the plane. I went to the table to talk to the people, and they were like, what's going on? They're asking me all these questions. Because you know you can't make a plane go back, Lord Jesus. But that's what happened. And at the time when the guy was talking to me, he's like, yeah, a lot of people go through that. They go through that panic attack. And I didn't realize I was having a panic attack. It felt like I was having a heart attack or something of that nature. And he said it's hard for some people to be locked up in a tin can, as he put it, for that period of time. So they booked me on another flight, the next flight. I had to go to the lounge and take down 2 or 3 Long Islands. So I get to Boston. but that feeling was still there. And over the years of going through that, that feeling started to grow. And then now all of a sudden, when I go to fly, I'm nervous, I'm anxious. I feel that feeling of not being in control. And that's where my panic attack came from because I was inside a plane. I couldn't open the door. I couldn't get out. And I felt like I was stuck. And it's the craziest thing is I love to fly. I don't have a fear of being in the air, taking off, landing sounds and all that. My fear, my thing came from control. And what happened is I realized over the years later on that that control manifested in other areas of my life, whether it's through raising a family, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through teaching. I always felt like I had to be in control. And that control came from a form of protection. I had to protect everything around me so that I wouldn't be hurt, so I wouldn't be harmed. And maybe 3 to 4 years ago, I realized I really wasn't living. I was just managing my fear. And that's no way to live. And I really had to change that. So I started going to therapy. And I encourage you, my listeners out there, if you ever do anything, one thing in life, therapy is good. I know a lot of times in the Black community, Black culture, people feel like they don't need therapy. But I'm going to tell you, that's truly helped me because I went through a phase of my life where I had to deal with grief within my family. And through that period of grief and going through therapy, this is where the revelation came through of understanding everything that I was going through, starting from my childhood, going into college, going into at the time being married and raising a family. I realized that a lot of things that I thought I was putting in place to help me was actually hurting me. And it wasn't beneficial to myself. And more importantly, wasn't beneficial to the people around me. So through this therapy, I learned what I was actually going. I learned I was going through a form of anxiety. At the time, I thought it was a form of control, but it was actually anxiety as I was trying to protect everything around me. So in talking with my therapist, she gave me some tools. And I believe these tools will definitely help you because I know it helped me grow and move forward from that place of living in fear and control to a place of freedom and letting go. So the first thing that helped me was I had to start shifting my thought process. And the way I did that was through meditation. It's not necessarily sitting in silence, but it's a real intentional pause. So I had to sit back and really think about what does my day look like? What do my movements look like? How do I overcome and handle these things without going into that place of control? At first, I couldn't sit still. My mind would race. I'll get anxious rather than relax. I would have to go through phases to get to that point of relaxation. But over time, once I kept doing the meditation every morning and going through it and visualizing and thinking about my day and how things were going to go, I learned that that meditation was actually emptying out all those negative fears. It was emptying out all that protection of thoughts. And it actually centered me to a calmness that helped me be able to navigate going through my day, my week or month, or however I chose to do it. So I started with just 5 minutes. I would sit there, I'll start with my breathing, I'll be sitting, and I was focusing on how I felt at that time, not worrying about what needed to be fixed. So meditation helped me stop trying to outrun those thoughts. And it really helped me to start observing them. And that really helped change a lot of things. So I encourage you to start working on meditation. The next thing that really helped me, especially in the moments when I do fly and I feel that that panic might be coming on, and I'm a whole lot better now than I ever was. You wouldn't believe how often I fly and I don't even go through this. But the second tool I use even now is called the 4-second breathing method. And here's how it works. You're going to inhale for 4 seconds. You're going to hold it for 4 seconds. You're going to try to hold it again for 4 seconds. And then you're going to let it out for 4. You just repeat that. It sounds so simple, but it's that rhythm that slows your heart. It centers your thoughts and it sends a message to your brain that I am safe. I use it when I felt, like I said, when I feel overwhelmed or if I'm beginning to speak, or if I feel any type of tension in conversation. And believe it or not, I could just be sitting in my car and just practicing it, because basically what I'm doing is I'm retraining my brain how to think and how to feel when I start to feel anxious. And over time, your brain starts to take over, and the things that it used to recognize as fear, it'll recognize as calm and a state of being, and you just keep moving forward. And it help regulates those emotions to help me stay calm under pressure. Now, the last one that I use this a lot, especially at the beginning when I was having issues with the flying piece of it. It's a technique that's called visualization. And when that anxiety took over, especially if I was flying, I think I was going to Vegas, one of the worst cases I might have had as I was going. I read something prior to getting on a flight that you want to take a picture of something that you're excited to go see. And at the time, I was going for my fantasy football draft. I'm a big fantasy football player, by the way. So I started visualizing the things that would happen in that draft. And by doing that, it took my mind away from that fear flight mode to something that was pleasant, something I was excited to see. And it basically flipped the script on how my brain was going. So I started working on that more and more, that visualization, even before I would get on the plane or the day before. I would visualize the positive things rather than negative things. And that really helped me. And simply all I did is I would just close my eyes. I would see myself being confident in the place that I want to be. And then I felt better. Your brain can tell the difference between what is real and something that is vividly imagined. So I basically started feeding my brain that vivid picture of what I wanted to see and how I wanted to feel. So those are three things that truly helped me: the meditation, breathing, and visualization. I really feel if you tap into those three things, and if you dealt with that fear, flight, anxiety, panic attacks, or you might just get nervous before a big speech or a conversation you have to have. Let me say this: healing doesn't mean anxiety disappears. Those things will come about. That's just life. That's how, our chemical response is to something. But it doesn't mean that you got to lose control of everything around you. You can take back that control by using these tools. I still breathe. I still meditate. I still visualize. It helps me find my peace. And every day that I do it, I get a little bit better every day. So if you're listening and battling anxiety, fear, or the need of control, I want you to start here. Do 60 seconds of stillness. Breathe slow. Imagine something that's possible. And I guarantee you'll start fixing things one at a time every day, but it takes one step, one foot in front of the other. But you have to keep going. And if you have a setback, that's okay. Just keep moving forward. So if this episode spoke to you, I would love to hear your story. You can DM me. You can send a comment below and share this if you think it will help somebody. I would love to hear from you. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, as I want to help and serve others. And if you really want to go deeper and unlock your potential, solving problems and living better, you can join me on any social media at Results-Led Life. But I'm also starting a new school community on the school platform. That's SKOOL, the Results Academy. And I would love for you to come and join my community, because I think it'll be a great place for us to grow together, because this is a community as we grow. And I believe it'll be a benefit for you. It'll be a benefit for me. And we always, as we say here at Results-Led Life, unlock your potential, solve problems so you can live better. So until next time, I really want you to breathe, visualize, and live from your power and not from your fear.